All right, 3, 2, 1.
West World, it's your boy Young YC, Young Cal, once again back here with another edition of CALi. Right here we got another staple in Los Angeles, the legendary hip-hop's favorite therapist, Mr. Taje himself. Bless you, man. So first and foremost, man, I just want to thank you, man, for blessing me with your time.
No, man, thanks for having me on, man.
Coming through, absolutely. And just for some people who do not know, I just want to give them a little history, about a background around the first time you and I first met was, when you
and... It was a while ago now.
It was, like, almost, I think, a dime now, like 10, yeah. Where you and our family Bishop and Prime was doing y'all, shows out in, at the Knitting Factory.
Yeah, that's when we was on our little concert runs and stuff.
The tour, and then of course, the House of Blues as well,
Sold out House of Blues. That was a good night.
You know what I'm saying? And, when I had met Taje for the first time, you know what I mean, it was crazy because we had actually met through a mutual acquaintance, our brother Jamal, salute to him, and apparently they were all attending the same gym at the time, Jamal, Taje, Prime, Bishop, and they were on their health tip, and I still remember, our brother coming to me one day talking about how, how that was in fact what was going on, and I was like tripped out, you know what I mean? I was crazy. And then what made it even better, is how he said, they had invited us to come see them on stage perform, in Hollywood over when they were doing their tour over at the House of Blues and the Knitting Factory, and so we had went, and I had always known who Taje was, because I had known his reputation, in LA. He definitely was one of those certified no nonsense individuals, and I had respected that. I had always been aware of who he was. And the most beautiful thing about it is when after we had all went to the show, and after the show was all said and done, we had all went backstage, and I had introduced myself to Taje, and I just knew he was always a real individual by the way he had welcomed me with open arms, and he knew I was going to be around because I was working, with the whole family at the time, and it was just an incredible experience for me that, to, be welcomed by such a certified OG, who I had always had mad love and respect for. So, Taje, you'll always be family for that. I wanted to know, from around those times, do you have like a certain memory that stands out to you? You know what I mean? That's your personal favorite from those times?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. You know what I mean? There was a lot of great people I was around at that time. Some of them you named, you know what I'm saying? But like people like Dr. Dre.
Yes, sir.
Like, the list goes on and on. But like, yeah. But I would have to say my personal favorite memory was at the House of Blues, actually. I would come out there, I had a song called House Shoes. So I would come out there in my house shoes and like khakis on. Some of the homies would be on stage with me.
I remember that, khakis and house shoes.
Yeah, and I remember I had a mixtape out at that time, and it did well. I got in all the magazines. I was doing my thing for an independent artist. I was on the radio, doing my little thing. But you never know how many people are actually listening to you, you know what I'm saying, till you do a show like that. So, I remember, I came out on stage, and the crowd was like hyped, you know what I mean? And I performed like a new song, but then I did one of my songs from like my mixtape, which I had the Hotbox series at the time, which was like a big like hip hop series back in that time. It was one of the bigger ones. I had a DVD with it. It was popping, Hotbox series. Look it up. But I performed one of my mixtape songs. Like, it wasn't even a song that I had like pushed. It was like a mixtape record. So you had to really listen to my mixtape to hear this record. And it was called Misunderstood. And the crowd knew the words. You know what I'm saying? And that tripped me out. I was like, yeah, like I saw people in the crowd rapping my stuff, and that was one of the first times that I experienced something like that on that level. You know what I'm saying? Where I lit, it was just a bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? They knew.
One of my favorite memories was you coming out, like you said doing the cut off khakis and now shoot them. And you had at the time, I think it was when the Lakers were in the playoffs and you came waving the Laker flag.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Always, I was always representing. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I always did the most. But just that interaction with the fans, especially like when they know your stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that was probably my best friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Those were like, glorious times, you know what I mean? And like you said, you brought up the hot box, you know what I mean? And the hot box too, I believe it's still one of the most respected and revered projects in that.
I still get, and I feel like blessed for that, because a lot of people still hit me about that tape, and when 10 years go by, and you got a core like fan of people that still hits you up like on Instagram and they'll tell you something like, hey man, that song you did, that got me through like my homeboy's passing, or we played that at my homie's funeral, or this, man, when you talking about like your kids, like that hit home for me, like that. I still get that love like in my Instagram, and I just feel blessed that I was able to like touch people's lives like that with music, because that's what rap did for me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, now shouts out to them, man. My fans are like real loyal.
That was, you know what I mean? And that was, I feel like, was the most important part about it, like you said. But then also on the other side of the token, there was a lot of controversy because of that cover. I still remember.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that would have probably been, still relevant to this day. Actually, I felt people would have,
Absolutely.
Still that one to take down to the heart.
Yeah. All my album covers, I try to make statements. Like they all have statements. Even on my mixtapes.
And I think that's what, you know what I mean? That's why it was said at the time, you know what I mean? Like how real it was, you put so much of yourself into it, and then, you know what I mean? Like you said, you coming out here to, make a statement, and I think that one was just very, you know what I mean, in your face, and you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I got a lot of good mail and a lot of hate mail.
You know what I mean? And like you said, you also spend a lot of time, you know what I mean, like who people who became like family to you. And people like you said, Mo Cream Shakur.
That's my bro.
I remember you busting the stage with him as well, which was another one of my personal favorites. You know what I mean? Moments like you said at the House of Blues. What may I ask is one thing that like you learned from him that stuck with you as a jam?
From Mo? I learned a lot from Mo, man. I learned how to like sustain myself. He helped me know how to like understand that life is a big cycle. Life is a big like road. Like I seen him go through like the pinnacles and the lows, and seeing him mourn his brother every day. Because like people don't understand, like when you're a family member of somebody that's like famous and belongs to the public, like a Tupac, or a Nip, or anybody that's great that's passed like that, for the fans, because they belong to the public, it's a little different for them than it is for the people like his family, you know what I'm saying, and people like that, because like when somebody dies, right, they die, you go through the mourning stages, you might see something that reminds you of them, things like that, and it hits you different. Like if you see something that reminds you of that person, like you'll feel it, right? Now imagine that person's everywhere.
Exactly, and that's one thing that I've always said, to
like going to the swap meet, you know what I'm saying, and you see your brother that got killed on every wall. It's on a poster. Yeah, it's on the radio. It's on the shirt. You know what I'm saying? It's on the, and it's not, and you like that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it also reminds them that they're not here. You know what I'm saying? So just being able to kind of sustain through that, I learned from him. You know what I'm saying? And like just the ups and downs of the game, the joys, the pains. He made me know that it's real. You know what I'm saying? It ain't all good, but it's not all bad.
Yeah. One thing that I realized is, you and I have had a lot of mutual, loved ones, and acquaintances, and that's always been a beautiful thing. But unfortunately, during these times, it does seem like, we've been losing them in a lot faster rate than it takes for us to heal from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is why I wanted, to definitely make sure that we did this. You know what I mean? I remember, like you said, you did have the honor to do the legendary Badass's final interview.
It's another one of my homies. Yeah.
What man was that experience like for you?
Every time I was around Badass, man, it was like being around a light. Like he just he shined bright. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean like jewelry or clothes. I mean just like his spirit. Like like Badass to me didn't have like a bad bone in his body. No pun intended. Like he just wanted the good for everybody. Like it's not many people I've met like that are just pure souls. Like he just wants everybody to do well. You know what I'm saying? So every time I was around Badass, it was always fun. It was always laughs, you know. It was always, you know, kicking it, you know, throwing some knowledge back and forth, you know, because he was another person, you know, like, you know, the one thing me and him had in common is that we've been in this since we was young. You know what I'm saying? He was a little older than me, you know what I'm saying? But we seen a lot of the same things, and we were around each other through a lot of crazy periods, you know what I'm saying? And it was always just laughing and joking. So it was the same that night. You know, we kicked it, smoked. You know, Dame Dash was there. You know, so that was interesting experience seeing them kind of talk stories back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that's a lot of wisdom in one room. You know what I mean? So I can imagine. You know what I mean?
And it's a lot of times, and I've seen Badass since I was a young teen. You know, so but always shining bright. And just like in that interview, like if you watch the interview, it's like very happy energy, you know, and it's like his last testament. Yeah. So when I look back at it now, see back when we were doing it, it was kind of fun, you know, he was deep. Badass was always deep. But now when I look back at it and I watched it, it was like, wow, that was like his last living testament. You know, how he gave it up and he went deep into his experiences. So it was dope, and you know, I feel blessed, bro.
It was always good to be around that. But another one of our brothers who I would like to acknowledge was our brother Dave New York.
Oh yeah, the whole man.
Who was one of the greatest, tour managers, and also just even a better person at that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
What can you share? Is there a memory with him that you can share with us that one of your personal favorites?
Oh man, me and him are Giants fans to the death. All right, so you know, we were like some of the only Giants fans out here. You know what I'm saying? Like in LA, you feel me? And we would always just top it up about football like all the time. You know what I'm saying? And we knew a lot of the same people. You know what I'm saying? Jay Dilla's folks, and you know what I mean, and things like that. But I think my funnest moment with him, outside of the Giants talk we would always have when we'd catch the Giants games and stuff like that, would be in the studio. Like he had as much passion for the music as like the rappers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So like, and he was always very like free with his thoughts. Like he ain't like some shit, he's like, man, that's trash, that's garbage. Yeah. Like, you know, so I think it'd just be in the studio, like just having fun with the music, and you know, he'll tell you like if it's garbo.
Yes, he will. He was very, blunt, straightforward.
Very straightforward. I love that about him. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he was from New York and he was out here, and he'd be out here with us. These dudes from LA and stuff, and he fit right in. So, shouts out, man. That's my bro, man. I miss him.
I'm saying, amen, man. Amen. Yeah. So, coming from everything that you and I had just discussed, you know what I mean? It would have seemed at one point, you know what I mean, hip-hop, what you're calling. How did the transition go from hip-hop artist to hip-hop's favorite therapist with Taje?
Well, a lot of people ask me about the hip-hop thing, like, I don't feel like it wasn't my calling. I feel like it was part of my calling. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's part of the mission. Like, a lot of the people that I'm blessed to help now and give advice to or help do things are people that I met during that period. Right? You know what I'm saying? And some of the people that know me from the music and the fans, so I feel like that was part of my mission. Okay. But what I always wanted to do with music, besides make money, was reach people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always wanted to reach people and like help somebody feel better or get through their day or relate to them in some way. You know what I'm saying? Because I was really living the things I was rapping about. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's real. Like, I was really taking the risk and, doing some dumb shit sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But I was really living those things, and I wanted that to come out in the music, like, just being authentic and, like what a Pac did for me or a Nas did for me. You know what I'm saying? Where I could listen to it and it could give me thought about what I was going through and maybe save my life or save somebody else's life. You know, I always wanted to do that for like other people. So as I progressed through music, to keep it 100, my soul got unhappy with the politics and all of the fame shit that comes with it. And like, I was doing well and we was making money and I was around a lot of greats and a lot of legends, but my soul wasn't happy. Because I felt like I was just around a lot of fake shit, you know what I'm saying? And just the fake industry and, you know, so I was like, okay, well, how could I still reach people? You know what I'm saying? Because this is all I wanted to do besides being in the streets and selling drugs. You know, and I had just caught a case. Matter of fact, me and my cousin that's over there, we caught a case around the same time. We both got caught some gun charges. I had actually caught a murder case because of my gun charge. And I remember being in jail and I said, man, something gotta change. I really didn't do the shit that they was accusing me of. I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. Now I've gotten away with a lot of shit in my past. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I didn't do that. And you know, you got these people looking at you and they like, yo, we finna give you 25 years. You know, 30 years you looking at. If you don't give us this information, I wasn't gonna snitch. So I knew, I was okay, well if they give me this time, I'm about to sit down. Like damn, for something I didn't even do though. So I remember I prayed to God, I said, you know what, apparently I'm supposed to be here to learn something. So thank you for having me here. If this is what I'm supposed to do, then I'm gonna take that, and apparently I'm supposed to learn something from this. So instead of cursing God for it, I thank God for it. And I told my homies, don't bail me out. That's how crazy I was into what I was thinking at the time. I told my family, I said, yo, don't bail me out. I told my family, yo, let me be here. I need to experience this. I need to get my mind straight. You know what I'm saying? Right. They bailed me out the next day. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Right. And I just came out on some different shit. You know, I was like, you know what? The only thing that interested me was the brain. So I was like, okay, well, I like the brain. How can I reach people? I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this school shit. So I was still hustling, but going to school. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I just came up with this plan. I was like, you know what? My people need me to do this. Okay, I need to help get our minds right. You know, whatever fame I garnish or whatever, like these things that come with this life, I'm gonna use it to try to strengthen people's minds, you know. And I knew I had to get degrees so that they would take me seriously on these cameras. Like I already knew I already knew half of this already. You know, I've been a therapist to my homies my whole life. You know what I'm saying? To the point where they get mad at me sometimes. They're like, yo, shut up, nigga, I don't wanna hear this. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. So as time went on, I figured out a way to make money going to school. Like not only was I making money from my different little hustles or my investments, but because I was getting the top grades and I was a presidential scholar, I had the highest GPA in the school. You know what I'm saying? So every semester I was getting 10, 15 racks for 3-4 months in my pocket. Because, you know, scholarships and this, that, and third, you know, so I found a way to kind of hustle it up. So the years just kept going by. I didn't take no breaks. Pretty soon I was getting my bachelor's degree. Then I was getting my master's degree. Now I'm getting my doctorate degree. So it's like, I use these connections and it just built from there, you know what I'm saying? I made it to national television, you know what I'm saying? As a psychologist, you know, to me that was a big thing. For somebody, you know, first you saw me as a rapper and hanging out with gangbang, you know, dudes, and now you seeing me as a mental health professional on television. To me that was a big thing, you know, and
righteous.
That's how I made that switch. I felt like I was still in my purpose. To answer your question, I was like, oh, I'm still reaching people. You know, through that time that I was becoming a therapist and a psychologist, I've helped thousands of people get through college, bro. Like, I went to the schools and talked to the classes and you know, go to places like Compton High School, Centennial High School, you know what I'm saying? Go to LA, Watts, you know, and talk to these kids, you know, and market these college programs to them and help them get through school and things like that, you know, and really be organic with helping people. Whatever damage I'm doing to the neighborhood, that I've done to the neighborhood, like I've been trying to reverse it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and it just kept me moving. So that's the plan, basically. I'm just keeping going.
Yeah, one of the realest stories ever told, you know what I mean, from Los Angeles, but I think, you know what I mean, in general, you know what I mean, so that's why, you know, respect to you, say God bless you for everything, you know what I mean.